And this old jack was in the auction. And I collected jacks at the time. I only had a few as opposed to the 600 I have now. But I knew this was old. I didn't know anything about it. So I said, oh, it's a cool old jack. So I bought it and put it in the jack collection. And 10 or 15 years went by. And I was just down the road here on the railroad track. And they were replacing the sleepers under the rails, and I was coming along and scavenging the old thrown away railroad spikes. So I went home after a day of scavenging railroad spikes and went on Google and Googled pile of old railroad spikes to see if I could find more railroad spikes. And when I did that, I found a blacksmith's website. And the blacksmith used those spikes to make knives out of. So I was intrigued and I read the website, and there was an appeal on the blacksmith website to other blacksmiths to please go to this auction that was mostly colonial era iron that this guy had accumulated on his very long lifetime. He was in his 90s, he was going to sell it all off. The blacksmiths were appalled, and they wanted the blacksmiths to conspire to keep this collection together and buy it up. They couldn't, it was too massive. But I was intrigued by this auction, so I went to the auctioneer's website, and there was a preview catalog of all the things that were going to be in the sale, and there were, you know, mostly from the 1700s, like toast makers and andirons and all kinds of wonderful stuff. And as I was flipping through this website electronically, I found a page, and I said, gee, those things look like the thing I have. And they were well described, and it said Conestoga Wagon Jack.
Oh.
And they had pre-auction estimates on all of these things. And I thought, do I have one of these? So I went and I measured this. It was the same size. I said, oh, I've got a Conestoga Wagon Jack. Well, the Conestoga wagons ran from 1725 to 1850. And it said that sometimes these were all hand forged by blacksmiths. They fit in the box that you sat on while you were in the wagon, and you took this out, jacked the wheel up to re-grease and things like that. Well, at the auction, this thing was broken.
Not like yours. That's
we thought it was broken because nobody could move the crank, so nobody played with it. So it sat in here for 15 years. So I said, well, okay, I'm going to look at this, because they said there were 3 degrees of wonderfulness of these things. First of all, this had iron on it still. Most of them, the bottom rotted off, and you just had rotten wood at the bottom. Some of the ones in this auction were like that.
Because this goes in the ground.
Yeah, this is what keeps it from moving. This, again, hand forged. So I said, well, that's good. And then they said, well, some of them, the blacksmith made a little ornamentation on it, and those were the really nice ones. And then the super rare ones, they actually either had the blacksmith's initials or a date on them. So I got really excited. So I wiggled this thing around, wiggled it around. And finally, I got the thing to unclench and cranked it up. And I said, oh my goodness, look, there's ornamentation on there. It's crosshatched. So this is one of the really nice ones. So then I just kept going and going and going. And going and going and going, and there you can read the date for yourself. 1794. So this is from 1794. I got in a household auction in Ann Arbor.
Somebody didn't know what they had.
Didn't know what they had. Nobody knew what it was. And the
But you just thought it looked cool.
the pre-auction estimate on these was $8,000 for the ones that weren't this nice.
So that's like
And I paid $30 for it at the auction, because obviously it was broken and old. So that got me interested in Conestoga wagon history and jacks. So now I have 5 of these things.
None that old.
But
1808?
this was 1808. That one I can't remember what the date is. But
It is.
this one. This one has a star on this piece,
Is that the anti?
and it has the original blacksmith forged hand twisted handle. It's lost, obviously, the wood that was there once. It still has the original red paint, which is absolutely unheard of. And then when you crank it up,
Where'd you find this one?
this was an auction as well. This is dated 1790, and the name is John Corner.
The blacksmith.
Now, the reason this is so cool is because, well, it's really nice. It's got original paint, it's got all the hardware on it. But John Corner is a known individual. He was a gunsmith in the American Revolution.
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
So this should be in the Smithsonian. So I'm just absolutely thrilled to have it.
Oh, it's lovely.
This is a absolutely marvelous piece of American history right here. Somebody took really good care of this. You can see all the cross hatching and dots are intact. The name is intact.
And somebody knew what
And
it was.
yeah,
At least part of its life they did now.
yeah. So this is a really marvelous piece.
How much that cost you? Where did you buy it? Where'd you get it?
I got this at an auction in New York.
They knew what they had.
I absentee bid on it. It has a hand forged nail, replacement nail from the early 1800s in it. But this I wouldn't trade for a used car. If that helps you understand the popularity of it at the sale. shall I say.
I'm sure they.
So anyway,
Very cool.
I normally don't pay a lot for tools, but